Hi, this is Jim, and this is Second Chance, a moped podcast. And welcome to everybody to another week of Second Chance, a moped podcast. Yes, there's yet one more moped. I was gonna be fucking witty, and I was gonna be great, and I was gonna be smart for all of you, but I'm not. Well, I'm smart. I'm the smartest person I know, jokingly. But I figured we needed one more moped content on YouTube. So it was suggested by a lot of people through time. Jim, you should put this stuff up on YouTube. And I kind of drug my feet and kind of started asking some guests. And I'm going to get back to every guest that I had and still have video for. Just, because people want to know each other on in the community. Like, it's awesome to hear the interviews. And that was a big thing, like, especially for Moped Monday, like when I would hear all these cast of characters, like I didn't know who the fuck anybody really was until, like, this, that, or the other thing. But like, I feel like you get to learn somebody a lot more through like personal cues. And as Parker said, I have the prison cell motif in my basement. So like, yeah, I promise I'm not in jail, I think. But it's gonna be jail soon because it's gonna be Minnesota. It's gonna be fucking winter. Oh, dude, I saw the most beautiful Grand Prix the other day. Like, I saw two. No, I'm talking about the Brazilian Grand Prix. I watched Formula One the other day. Made me so happy. God, I got jazzed about mopeds again. Like, I got out in the garage. I wrenched a bit. I almost burned my garage down. Long fucking story behind that, but I caught everything in time. I'm jazzed about mopeds again. I'm gonna hush. I'm gonna hush because I'm a person. I don't like to talk about stuff until it's done. Like, that's why I didn't talk about my YouTube stuff, because like I talk a lot of shit. Like, oh, I'm gonna do this, I want to do that, and I hate it when I fail or I don't deliver. Like, that's a me thing, and like that's like, I don't know if it's instilled from the parents or whatnot, but like my old man would drive that home. If you're gonna say something, Jim, you have to deliver because it's my fucking name you represent. And like, my dad passed when I was 12, and that still haunts me to this day. Like, just deliver and then announce. And like, because I'm a talker, dude. Like, I fucking have a podcast. Like, I deliver then talk. I don't know if that makes any sense to anybody out there. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. But yeah, mopeds and people and listening and paying attention. I have the weird ADD where like, and this is in conversations or this is in real life. Like, if you put something right in front of me or if I meet you, I will never remember. But if I hear a name randomly, it'll fucking stick with me. And like, I heard Jack from Two Smokes podcast he did with Jason a couple weeks ago on Moped Monday, and he said a name, and I'm like, he said kind of stuff. I'm like, fuck, I need to know this person because honestly, I know it's a desert, but that central part of the US, like Utah on down, is like just this oasis of no mopeds, like, or moped people. And then all of a sudden, like, things, you know, was it a spark turned into a wildfire? It sounds like in Utah right now with Two Smokes and everything that's going on with those guys. And they applied for MA, and that's fucking rad. And I hope they get in. And like, they are one of the most low-key groups you wouldn't expect, but like the passion is there. And I'm so excited for those guys because the moment I had an interaction with Jack, like, fucking big heart, dude. Like, Jack, I still fucking have that letter you sent me, a fucking handwritten letter. The guy didn't even know me. Like, that still warms the cockles of my heart. That's right. That's a little Jim Cornette for you on everybody. I know them big words. But with that, Jack mentioned a name, and I'm like, fuck, I should get to know this person. So I just reached out, and I'm sure he was like, who the fuck is this guy? And I just want to let my this week's guest introduce himself.
Hey guys, I'm Nick. I live in eastern Idaho, Idaho Falls to be exact. I started moped petting in the 2013 13, I think. Yeah, right when I finished college. I'm glad to be here. Thanks, Jim, for reaching out to me and looking to do a show and allowing me to tell my story. This is something I've never expected.
Yeah, dude. Like, and that's the weird thing about me. Like, I never understood the thing where people go places to go hang out with their friends. Like, we travel 8 hours to a rally. Let's go hang out with the same fucking people we know in the same state. Like, I'm a weird person. I know this, people. Don't worry. But like, again, that's that family thing that just got instilled. Like, dude, I love the people who are in my life, but like, if I got opportunity to meet people from an outside area that dig the same shit I do, fuck yeah, I want to meet them. So that's why I wanted to have you on. So Nick, and I know you live in Idaho, Eastern Idaho, Western Idaho. It's all the same goddamn place to me because I don't know Idaho. But but you started out I know on the East Coast. We talked a little bit. So let me ask you, Nick, what is your very first memory? Not necessarily getting on, but your first memory of a moped. And then we'll get in your smile ride and all that stuff. But like, when's the first time you remember seeing a moped?
So I still have it, but the first time I saw a moped was one of my buddies in college had bought one off Craigslist because he lived by the beach down at the University of Rhode Island, and he thought it would be a lot of fun, and he could, attract the ladies with it. He would buzz around down there.
Was your friend on a lot of drugs? I'm just wondering because, like,
no,
okay,
no.
I just wondering. I gotta ask.
It was a
simple
top
questions.
tank. He thought that was cool.
Oh, god damn it, top tanks. Okay, we're over it now. We're gonna move forward.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, your friend wanted to get chicks on a top tank. Yeah.
Yeah, and that bike was a Tomos, and he used it, through college, and then classes ended, and then we all kind of moved out. It had broke down a couple of times. He tried to fix it. He took it to a car mechanic because he didn't know anyone else that would be able to work on it. And then as we were moving out, he was like, I don't know what I'm going to do with this. It's just broken. And I jokingly said, why don't you give it to me? And he just said straight up, sure. He said, take it. I didn't give him a dime for it. And that was the beginning of my adventure.
Nice. That's the way any good addiction starts off. Okay, we had a little hiccup there, boys and girls. I had to pause the video. And so if it's a little rough, no worries, because you're getting what you paid for. So, Nick, do you want to continue, please?
Yeah. Right. So he gave me that bike. I didn't pay him a cent. First taste is free, and then you're hooked.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You got that smile ride, but how did you fix it? Because you said the bike was broke. So what was it? Was you just out of gas? I mean, like,
no, actually, I didn't get a smile ride till almost a year later when I completely rebuilt the engine. It was an A35.
Okay.
The clutch were shredded. I tore the whole thing apart, and this kind of like led me to reaching out to the metal ponies. Mm-hmm. They were absolutely wonderful and super friendly and welcoming, and helped me put it back together. And then my first ride was with them on a weekly ride. I think we rode a pretty far way through Rhode Island. And that was my smile ride. And it was a big smile because I put the whole bike together myself, and I never thought that was something that I could ever do.
Now, did you grow up? It doesn't sound like it, but like, was anybody kind of mechanical in your household growing up? Because like, I noticed it's one or the other. Like, either For the vast majority of people getting into mopeds, they really didn't turn much of a wrench. And then there's dorks like me and maybe Graham Mossy. Like we've all been turning wrenches since like knee high to a grasshopper, if you will.
No, there was nobody. I played with erector sets as a kid, if anybody remembers what those were.
Oh, fuck yeah. But my family was too cheap / poor. I think more on the cheap side. I had the Rector set from like 1950 something that like most of the nuts and bolts were missing. So like I just tried to kind of prop stuff up. Thanks, Gail. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I had zero. I'd never taken a shop class in my life. I didn't know how an engine worked, how an internal combustion did, like how gas did, how anything worked. So at the time, it was a absolutely brand new thing that I was self-teaching myself, like what, like identifying the parts that are broken, even learning what they were and how the whole thing ran was something.
Now, were you going to like the people at Metal Ponies, or were you kind of learning about MA at the time, or the tutorial videos that might have been out? I don't know how much they were out at that point.
There were a lot of videos out. I don't really have the patience to sit and watch them, so I did
me and you both, brother.
Yeah. I did a lot of reading, a lot more reading than watching, and downloaded and printed all the service manuals I could find. Their Moped Army resources are extensive and wonderful. Sure.
Right on. So you fix that bike. You said you rebuilt the motor. Like, what was wrong? Like, do you remember what was all wrong with it? Was it just kind of a case that maybe your buddy didn't put the right oil in and hard seized it, or?
No, the clutches were
cracked. It was the clutches. I'm sorry. I'm an asshole because I thought it was, ADD. There I go again.
Oh no, all the clutches were cracked. I think the second gear clutch was missing any kind of lining on it, so I relined them with some of the cork I got at Napa or something. And this was a long time ago. Had to buy new clutch shoes because they were broken. Like there was nothing right about them at all. And I remember one of the hardest things was installing the springs. One of them was completely, overstretched and out of. That was really tough.
Yeah, especially like first time dealing with anything like that. I can't imagine, my guy. So you start doing some of the rides with the Metal Ponies. You fall in love. How long did it take you to kind of branch out into the outside community? Like, what was your first rally? What was your first rally? Was it like one that they put on, or?
I don't remember. It was really fuzzy. But I met the Ponies. Liz was extremely friendly. Dan was extremely friendly. We rebuilt the engine at Dan's shop in Mass, and so I don't remember if the Metal Ponies rally I went to was rally number 5, and I kind of helped put that together a little bit with them. I was going to their weekly meetings in Providence, but then there was also a small rally that I think Lucky Two Strokes threw a party one weekend, and I just went up for a day trip. But then the big memory I have was when I went to Richmond. Liz and I drove down and rode with everybody down there. My mind, there were so many clubs, but
and what year was this? Because me being such a dork for those guys, like I love everybody in the RVA. Like I've gotten a
Yeah.
chance to be there a couple times in the last few years.
It was the Paint It Black rally at the Shred Shed.
Okay.
I think Sean owned that, but
Yep.
it was the black, yeah, Painted Black.
Mm-hmm.
And we went to the theme park down there. I don't remember Thunder. I think it begins with Thunder something. But that whole adventure opened my eyes to what mopeds really were and the community that was around them, and like how big it was, and the opportunities to travel and meet new people. And it was just mind blowing and amazing.
Yeah, dude. Like especially because how many like weekly you said it's all very concise, like very condensed time frame. Like I can't imagine just getting a bike running and then hitting a few things here or there and then going down there like Richmond during like a black rally. I got nothing but love for Jason and Jason Thompson, his
Mhm.
wife Erin. Got a shout out to Thomas and Ashley. Like love those guys. Frankie and Justin, like Maddie and Chelsea that lived. I'm just fucking list names for the sake of list names at this point. Um, but so
Yeah.
you do that, you go there. Did you win anything in the raffle? That's the big question everybody wants to know.
Shoot, I don't remember at all.
It's all right.
What the big thing I remember was Jason probably doesn't remember this, but he tried to help me get my Tomos running again. I ran for a summer, and then we went to the rally, and then the throttle would spin the rear wheel, but if the wheel was on the kickstand, but if the rear wheel was on the ground, it didn't move. Like there was no power. And I don't know what I thought it was the circlip in the gear inside the engine. So I replaced that, but that wasn't it. I've got a couple of ideas. I still haven't fixed it. But I have got a couple of parts, but they gave me a loaner, and the loaner I think was timed incorrectly. So I was going slow the whole ride. And on the way back from the theme park, we were driving through downtown, and I was having trouble keeping up. And he put his hand, I'll never forget, he put his hand on my back, and he was pushing me. And I just like, I was so happy. I felt so connected to the community, and Jason did that for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jason,
So,
dude, nothing but love for that guy. Like you got your first hand to God in Richmond. I did too, but like, yeah, it was Thomas gave me mine on a 4th of July when I just jetted the wrong fucking way for some reason and my bike wouldn't run. And like I had a basket and he's just like, fuck it, we're going. And we were cooking pretty well. We're probably going about 20, 25. And me being a dumbass that I am, Thomas goes, dude, put your fucking helmet on. Like we're,
yeah.
which I still remember this day. Like, you went and did that, Pan Black. How long did you kind of hang out in the Rhode Island scene then? Like, it seems like there's kind of a little bit of a gap, and like, just kind of want to talk about your like a little bit of your transition out west and stuff like that, and like, yeah.
Yeah. I don't quite remember the whole timeline, but they rally number 5 was their last rally, and everyone in the club had been kind of moving on with their lives.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were talking about retiring, but they wanted to make sure like I stayed involved in the community. So I got initiated, and then the Ponies retired.
Oh no.
So I kind of, got an experience, and I'm getting the members only on the forums, but since then I moved. I'm I was in the environmental field in college, and I have a soil science degree.
Awesome.
And I knew if, what was important to me was having a job that kept me outside for my,
Mm-hmm.
physical health. Um, and I got an opportunity to move to Arizona for an internship. And so I took that, and then, I got a job offered here in Idaho as a soil
No,
scientist.
you got to
Right.
pause for a second. I got to ask, did you get to do any moped riding out in Arizona, or was it just kind of worked like grindstone and kind of mopeds took a pause?
I was living about 20 miles off the border of Mexico in the desert. So I didn't have a great opportunity to meet anybody.
Yeah, yeah.
But I would go to Tucson on weekends, and I did try to meet up with a couple of riders in Tucson. I posted on Moped Army, and then there was a parade, I think St. Patrick's Day parade or something, and a couple of people were riding their bikes in the parade, and so I met up with them for the day, just the network, but I didn't get to do any riding in Arizona.
Yeah, my guy. No worries.
Mm. But
So you make your way up. What were you gonna say? I'm sorry for interrupting.
I just said, but I tried.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you get an E for effort from me.
Yeah.
So you make your way up to Utah. What was it? Was that just an actual jobby job? Was that like, yeah? Because you said you got an internship and you went to Arizona. Did you
Mhm.
get like, what is your job? What was the job you went up there for?
Yeah, it's a career as a soil scientist.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and right now my job, I've been in that position for almost 7 years,
Awesome.
and um, yeah, it's amazing. I do a lot of field work. I'm in the mountains hiking, and I dig a lot of holes about 4 months out of the year when the weather's nice.
Yeah, yeah.
Unfortunately, I'm not in town because I'm out camping, Monday through Friday, for work. And so, even though I did try to pursue, um, building a moped community here in Idaho, it's been rough because I'm only back on weekends.
Yeah.
Um, and but I've networked. There's a bunch of people in town. They get really excited when I ride around on my bike, and
Mm-hmm.
I've got 6 bikes now, and I've gotten a couple of people to come out and just jump on a bike with me, and we ride around. Uh,
Nice. So what
yeah.
was it like? And not to like make it all about I don't even know where I was going with that. But what was it like when you heard about actual moped group or club in Idaho Springs? Like, because I
Oh,
believe that's where Jack's out of, isn't it? The Two Smoke
so
crew.
I'm in Idaho Falls,
Okay.
and then he's outside of Boise
Oh,
in
I'm sorry.
in Caldwell area, and it's
Mm-hmm.
it's actually Idaho is so big, it's almost a 5-hour drive to get to him on
Yeah,
the other side
that's a
of the
haul.
state.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I was super excited because I had been looking for riders in Idaho for years.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that I drove out when I first moved there. I drove 5 hours to Boise and back in a day. It was like almost an 11-hour day, to pick up my first moped out west. Um, and so I was really excited to
Mm-hmm.
know that there.
Yeah, it's pretty rad to see what they were able to foster for the community out there. What was it like getting to experience that? I almost made that ride this year, but it was just like too many things didn't lined up against it. So like I'm a little bummed out I didn't get out to that ride, that This Could Be Us ride.
Yeah,
What was that like, just having that experience out there? Like, because I think that's so fucking rad.
it was so cool. Um, he put up his house, for us to crash, and I think some people slept in tents in the yard. We Man, to have a rally so close, because I knew, like, the big rallies were all the way on the coast in California or Portland,
Mm-hmm.
or all the way back to the East Coast. If you, or even just Nebraska is a far drive, but
Yeah, because like
No,
what's Denver to you? Like that's 8 hours.
at least I think it's 8 to 9. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And that's in Denver, like I'm thinking Nebraska or and again, I'm going geography. Everybody knows I suck at it, but I never get
Mhm.
lost. But I think it'd be like a 14, 15 hour ride just to fucking Nebraska. I mean,
Yeah, that's a funny story actually. I was in so the National Soil Survey Center is in Lincoln, Nebraska,
oh
and I
wow.
went. We flew out for like a 3 week training, and I
Uh-huh.
had my weekends were free. So um, I hit up a couple of people. There's I think another guy named Jim, um, and I was friends with him on Instagram, and I said, "Hey, is anyone riding mopeds this weekend?" And he goes, "Are you kidding me? Um, it's rally weekend in Omaha
Oh
at
wow.
the at Ed's Moped Shop. What shoot, I forget the name of it. The rally that they host there.
They usually do movie themed ones like they did like a Goonies one. I went to the one with the like the Jurassic Park one, Rally of the Corn.
It's
Um
yeah, Rally of the Corn. I think the one I went to was the Goonies themed. I don't remember.
okay. Yeah, yeah.
So there were a couple of my employees I was in the training with, and they were going to Omaha to go golfing. And I said, "Hey, can you give me a ride?" And so I got a ride up, and I was able to pick up a loaner, and I rode with them for a day, and that was really cool.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Ed did and the whole Dead Possums crew, like I can say my experience with their rally is fucking awesome. Like it's a rider's rally because they'll take you out in the middle of fucking nowhere and you're riding and riding and
yeah,
riding. But dude, I love it. Yeah, they do such a great job with that. And they'll be I hear scuttlebutt, and I think it's pretty much out there. Like there's a possibility of the Jolly Ranchers getting the torch passed to them for the next one, and that'll be awesome because Josh is such a fucking nice guy. So yeah, the whole crew out in Nebraska are yeah, they do such a bang up job when it comes to rallies.
yeah, it was such a good time, and it lined up perfectly with me being there. And yeah, and since that, I've tried to get to at least one rally a year, um, it, and and that's been tough for me because of my work
Mhm.
and just the location where I live. But have been making it work, and it's been like really good.
Nice. How far are you from like Portland or Seattle? Like, I'm just thinking like the no. For some reason, I just feel like you're closer, probably to Seattle or or Portland.
Um, when I moved here, I grew up in Rhode Island, and the connectivity, I could get on a train and be in Boston in 40 minutes.
Hmm.
Um, or I could take the Amtrak to New York if I wanted. Um, but when I moved here, I thought, there's got to be a commuter rail that goes, to the state capital. There's got to be there's got to be a flight to Portland and Seattle. They're so close, and there wasn't. It was like heavy, heavy car culture. If you wanted to leave, you had to have a car,
Yeah,
and um, so I was super bummed. I was like, I'm never gonna make it to Portland or Seattle. Um, but when they had the choose your own adventure or create your own adventure
yeah,
uh, rally, they had to change the name. Uh, I made sure to go to that, and it was about a 14-hour drive one way to
yeah.
get to Portland.
That can be a haul, and especially like being an East Coaster. Like my ex-wife, she grew up in Queens, like Jamaica, Queens. So like when she
Mhm.
moved out here, she never had a license. Like she was 26, 27. She's like, I taught her how to drive, which was fucking interesting. But
Yeah.
it's a trip. Like the first time she ever drove, and imagine this, like she got her permit the next day it freaking snowed and she wanted to drive to work and I was working second shift. So I'm sleep
Oh,
deprived. She's this tiny, like 5'2", like little girl, like just can barely see over the steering wheel. That was a trip.
mhm. Yeah, that's amazing. I still have friends in New York City who don't have cars.
Yeah. And I tell
Yeah.
people, and I get that. And like, I've been around enough to understand that. But like, I tell some of the guys at work, like, how I don't know, it got brought up today. Like, how could people not have a license? I'm like, my ex-wife didn't have a license. I'm like, in New York, dude, it's a hindrance to have a vehicle for the most part.
Yeah. Yeah. You got to go down to the garage. You got to get out of the garage. Then you're in traffic. And then,
Yeah.
yeah.
But I'll say this: anytime I've been in New York, it's been a couple times I've driven there. I've gotten dumb lucky where I've had no fucking issues. I had more issues negotiating the train system than I did
Mhm.
actually driving around. I don't know how or why, but whatever, dude.
That's so much fun though, getting on public transit and like being so lost, but figuring it out. And
Yeah.
that's an adventure. I love public transit, but
Oh,
there's not.
dude, the D train fucked me up when I was there because the first time I went to New York, it was during like Sandy reconstruction. Like they're
Mhm.
fixing shit after Sandy. And for so like I was fucking lost in the subway system. And I'm like, it was like 1:32 in the morning. And I was supposed to meet my ex-wife and her friends somewhere, and I'm fucking lost. I'm like, fuck it. I just lit up a cigarette in the train station. I'm like, dude, I don't give a shit at this point. And then some nice person helped me negotiate the train system after that. So
Yeah, awesome.
um but you made it out to Seattle, and like, what has mopeding been like for you during, especially, I mean, I get it, you got your job, you got to concentrate on that, but especially during like the last 18 months, 2 years with Corona.
Um, and hasn't really done anything to it. Um, hasn't slowed down. Idaho has been a really funny state where um, nobody believes in it,
Ugh,
and
yeah.
so well, like things are still happening. I pretty much just ride around by myself. I hit up
Mhm.
my friends once in a while when I get on, but there's only very few of us, and we, um, we were going out to the bars, I think, but the state shut down and made everybody close. Um, but I would still get on and ride around. It
Yeah.
didn't away. The big things here that stop me from riding are the weather. Um, it tends to get cold fast, and then there's a lot of wind here.
Hmm.
Idaho Falls is right in the edge of the Snake River Plain, and that's where they grow all the potatoes, by the way.
Okay.
Uh, and the wind kind of from the coast just blows right through it because it's flat.
Yeah. Um, you talk, now I gotta ask, like, so what's your stable like? You said you had 5 or 6 bikes right now. What are they?
Yeah, I've got yeah. So when I moved out to Idaho, and the ponies retired, I started to call myself the Wild West Pony. I
Okay.
thought that was appropriate because I moved out to the and so I started our group, and I call them, there's like 6 of us, and I call us the Wild West Ponies unofficially, but uh so I've got, yeah, I call it the stable, and I've got a couple of maxis, a Peugeot 103 that needs a full rebuild.
Mhm.
Um, I bought it from a guy in Wyoming for $100. He wouldn't budge. He was like, uh, I tried to get 50, give him 54. Um, and I have a Moby, a 50V.
Nice.
Yeah, that's been my daily rider, because it's a lot of fun. It's a blue one, and
That
uh,
dude, that's so funny because I am in the middle of purchasing a blue one for the owner of my company I work for because he had one as a kid in France and he's like, that was a part of my interview. Like he asked me, what are your hobbies? I told him vintage mopeds. He's like,
Yeah.
oh, if you ever come across a blue Moby, and I have come across a blue Moby, and I just ask him, like, Todd, do you still want that bike? He goes, yeah. Like, this guy
Yeah.
who makes, we'll say he does very well for himself, lit up like a 12-year-old. He's like, yes, I do. I'm like, dude, okay, we'll get it all squared away.
Dude, mopeds, they make
Yeah.
people so happy.
Yeah, dude. Like, they frustrate the living fuck out of you, where you just want to light everything you own on fire and walk
Yeah.
away. But like the joy, I was telling this at I go to a coffee shop, just like, I'm a weird person where, like, I want to be around people, but I want to be left the fuck alone. I know I'm weird.
No, dude, I go to the bar and I sit at the bar by myself just so I can be surrounded by people. But I don't want them to.
Yes.
Yes.
100. You and I, birds of the same feather, I think. Then,
Yeah.
but like, somebody asked me the other day, like, so did you buy any bikes this week? And I jokingly said 4. And they're like, really? I go, no. And then they asked me again walking in this week, so did you buy any bikes this week, Jim? I go, actually, I think I did fucking buy 4 bikes this week. So
Oh my
yeah.
God.
Yeah, dude. It's, but we'll see how that all pans out. But yeah, back to you and your stable.
Yeah, it's taken me a long time to get any because I'm online every week, and it used to be Craigslist, but now Facebook Marketplace is the place to check. And then there's a
Don't give up on that Craigslist deal, because, dude, I'm telling you, I still check it, but I don't care anymore about collecting anything because I've got too many bikes. And I'm up like 6, 7. It's whatever. But I know somebody pulled a UPS Magnum off of freaking Craigslist last year.
Still, yeah, wow.
Yeah. So don't don't sleep on that yet.
Yeah. But there just aren't any bikes here, and there's a good reason for that. There's not, like, the population is really low.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone out here is into the off-roading, so they've got their dirt bikes or their ATVs instead.
Mm-hmm.
Bigger toys to play with in the mountains. So when I do come across a moped, I try to, rescue it, I guess. Yeah. Right now, they're just sitting in my garage, so not entirely rescued.
Yeah, well, they're being preserved is the correct word at this point.
Yeah, I've got a stockpile of parts I bought for them. I just need to sit and work on them.
Yeah, that's the real trick, isn't it?
Yeah. But yeah, a couple of the one I'm trying to get running is a Free Spirit. A Free Spirit I bought in Boise, and the man who sold it to me gave it to me for $75. It was a deluxe and with the mag wheels.
Yeah, dude.
But his sons had, like, stripped it of a lot of weird parts to put on their dirt bikes. It didn't, it had an engine, it had wheels, and the frame was in really good shape. But it didn't have a seat, and it didn't have a gas tank. So I had been slowly, like, accruing all the parts I needed, and then I took it and I got it powder coated white.
Nice.
Really, really cheap, and the guy did a great job. And so now I've kind of put it all together. I just need to get it tuned. It has, I think, a 70 cc K-Star on it, and I've got my carburetor. One of the float bowl screws is stripped, so it just leaks gas. It doesn't float. Yeah, so new carburetor, but that's the bike I've been working on.
Right on. Like, when you go out and ride, like, say you got a Saturday yourself or you're with a group, like, how much do you ride when you get to ride? I mean, I know that's all depends on the day. Like, I mean, what's a long ride for you? I know some people, like, will brag about, oh, I rode 25 miles today, or like, but then you talk to some people like it's not a real ride until we get into 80 or 90 miles.
No, no, there's not a lot of places to go. We held a small networking get together, and that's when Jack from Caldwell came out to our side of the state, and then
Mhm.
there's another Jack in Billings, Montana, who's with the Goat Heads, and Jack Patterson, and he came down, and we all met up that weekend, and we rode. But it's if I get 20 or 30 miles in, that's a big ride, and that's
Right on.
probably zigzagging around town. It's not even like anything straight in and
Yeah.
out or to a destination or anything. So
Yeah. And especially like just in that, and every terrain is different. And I gotta get out there, right, dude? Like I love different parts of the country. It's like I had such a fun time out at Goat Heads Rally. Like that was just different part of the world, dude. I'd never seen.
yeah, man, Santa Fe's. You went to Santa Fe for that?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. New Mexico is amazing, and I've been to Santa Fe once. But I need to get down there again. I should make a point to do that.
Yeah, yeah. Sophia and like the Goat Heads did such a great job.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I met her and Chris at the national rally, and
Chris is such a fucking nice guy.
dude, they're so amazing.
Yeah.
They're like, I think because we were all staying at Kyle's house,
Mm-hmm.
and so I felt like I really connected with them.
Yeah. Grom Kyle.
Yes,
God, I
yeah,
love that cat too. Like he just
dude,
yeah.
he is such a beautiful human, and he came out to the Caldwell for the This Could Be Us rally too,
Yeah.
and so after hanging out with him in Portland, and he came out, we got to hang out a little bit, and he's so dope.
Yeah. Like all the way but that's mopeds, dude. Like for all I can't like I bet a jerk or two maybe, but for the most part, people just like want to get along and hang out and like just be a part of. And like I mean, we all have our bad moments, but dude, it's like fuck whatever.
Yeah, we just want to feel connection. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
So with 2021 coming to a close, do you have any? You say you always try to get to a rally a year. Do you got any rallies you kind of want to get to, or just I see the blood drive is kind of the only thing up on the MA calendar right now.
Yeah. We've been discussing that kind of in our local, Rocky Mountain group chat. Jack in Billings with the Goat Head said that they're going to drive up and pick him up, and then they're going to cut through Washington to go to the blood drive.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, if they're going to drive up, it'll be through me, and then we've been bouncing around the idea of like convoying out there together for that one. So I haven't looked at the dates. I don't know when it is, but that's something that definitely is very intriguing.
I could lie and throw some dates out, but it's next year. Like I like I
Yeah,
have no idea. It's like
it's far enough away where I haven't like started looking and planning at it yet.
yeah, my next big moped get together, I think, just because I love the fucking zeros so much, I might fly to a goddamn swap meet. Yeah, I said it. I might fly out to not only to a swap meet, I might fly to Toledo. I mean, what the fuck? God, I love the zero, like all the zeros. I'm not gonna do the name rundown, but like those guys are such good people. I just love them all. Um, but yeah, I can't. As we kind of wrap up a little bit, let me ask you, what's the dumbest thing you've done in mopeds? Like the dumbest fix, dumbest repair, like
If you want to browse my post history on Moped Army, or maybe I posted to Facebook. I don't remember, but the gasket material I used to build the cork lining on the clutches. I tried to cut a gasket for the side cover on the case, and I posted to MA and I was like, "Is this gonna work?" And everyone shit on me. They were like, that gasket is way too thick. It was like, a quarter of an inch thick, and you need
Oh.
that serial cardboard or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh yeah, I guess I wasn't thinking, but I at the time I had no idea, and I was like, they're trolling me, but I have no idea.
You had to take it with a grain of salt, but at least
Yeah.
they honestly gave you a response. Like they didn't say, yeah, that will work. That's 100% the way to go. Like at least they gave you shit, but gave you the right answer. So,
Right. And I knew I didn't know what I was doing, so I didn't take it, personally.
Yeah. And that's awesome for reaching out for help, because like I might bust some chops now and again, but I love to help people.
Mm-hmm. Another time, I swapped my front wheel on my Maxi, which is my favorite bike. It's the red one. It's this red one I've got. And I did a sealed bearing conversion on the front wheel. And because of that, you have to use a larger axle. And so my axle doesn't fit in my forks very well. It's kind of loose. And when I'm riding, I'm aware of that, and I'm watching out for bumps and things, like in case. Anyways, I was having such a good time riding around town. The sun was out. I had a huge smile on my face, and
fucking touching the sky, dude. I call that shit touching the sky.
I came up to this intersection where these train tracks cross the road, and there's a little rise in the road to the train tracks, like a speed bump. And I thought, this is amazing. I'm going to pop a little wheelie. And I went for it. And I was in mid, I preloaded, and I was in mid flight when I realized I knew immediately that was a bad idea. And my wheel, and I tumbled over the front of the handlebars. Picked myself up. I got a big scratch on my side, but luckily it wasn't going that fast. It was just mopeds.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, get the right axle, fucker. Like,
no, I know. So, no, I don't. No one else thinks of doing wheelies on my bikes, but I tell them, don't pop that.
That's too funny. Yeah. Is it like I have, not necessarily to that extent, but like you always have those repairs on a bike, like I'll get to it type of deal, but you ride the bike anyways. Yeah, I've got, like I was talking to a friend, like I rode my bikes in the ground this year, and it's like, I don't even want to start working on them because it's just going to be one thing after another, after another, after another. But whatever, dude. I got all winter. It's Minnesota.
Yeah. And I've got lock washers on it, but I can't tighten them enough, or else the bearing seize. I think I did a poor job installing the bearings.
No, you probably need the right spacers, in either in the center, or outside. Do you got that? That's one thing. Like I'm very lucky. I have access to mills and lathes and all that stuff. Like I've got so many spacers. I just like, you know what? I never want to fucking have to deal with this again. So I'm just going to cut a whole bunch of, I think 29 or 39 millimeter spacers for mag wheels. I'm just like, fuck it. I'm just going to cut them and true them and be done. Spent a few hours on a Saturday at my old job and did that.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I think I really tried to pay attention to the spacers in the center of the wheel between the bearings, and I slightly off. I brought the kit off treats, but it just didn't seem to line up right. And I played it for hours.
Well, is it a little loose in the center?
I don't remember. I think it,
because if it's a little loose in the center, that's okay. You just want to make sure you got like another spacer on the outside that touches the inside of the inner part of the bearing, and then you can put all your lock washers and stack it on that.
Okay. Yeah. I do have 2 outer spacers and then the forks and
Mhm.
then the nuts. But
Yeah,
yeah.
no worries, my guy. You'll get it figured out. I know you will.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll figure.
Um, I can't thank you enough for coming on and telling your unique story of kind of cross country moped life. As I tell everybody who's been on Second Chance Moped Podcast, doesn't matter if it's railing or not. If you ever want to come out to Minnesota, get on some dirty hobbits that have little to no brakes but are fast as fuck, you're more than welcome to
Yep.
come on out. And don't forget, mopeds are dumb.
Yeah. You don't need brakes if you seize.
I love it. Thanks a lot, my guy. Talk to you later. Bye.
See you, Jim.